the top of the fifth. But then in the bottom of the inning, well, it was Luis Rengifo that got things going with the swing.
First batter at the plate for the Angels, driving one deep into center field, and over the wall is the Angels' leadoff man in the inning, Luis Rengifo. They'll trot around the bases. That home run by Rengifo has just tied up the game. First pitch here in the bottom of the fifth. We're tied at 2.
Yeah, how about that? Luis Rengifo with a little ambush there for the home run to lead off the fifth inning. For Luis Rengifo, very good game for him. And that was off of Jameson Taillon, who really had held the Angels mostly in check other than the Trout home run in this one. Let's go to the sixth inning now. And this is where things would get a little wild for the Angels. So, before we get to the bottom of the sixth inning, it was Ben Joyce that came in the top of the inning. And I'll tell you this, Ben Joyce got himself into a little bit of a jam, back-to-back walks to Swanson and Happ, then got Suzuki to ground out. So 2 on, 2 out to Mike Tauchman. He gets walked as well. So the bases full, all on walks, facing Trey Mancini.
26th pitch inning here. Bases loaded on walks in the next delivery. And that was a slider. It's bounced by the mound. It's fielded by Drury. The throw is in time to first base. Boy, that play looked like it was in slow motion right there. Mancini doesn't run very well. And Joyce pitches out of the bases loaded jam here. They lead 3 on.
Yeah, so a really big missed chance for the Cubs in that sixth inning. Bottom of that frame now as Matt Dice to draw a 1-out walk. Brandon Drury would get a hit right behind him, so 2 on for the Rengifo.
Right side out the batter, Rengifo. It's going to drop in for a hit. This is going to score. The go-ahead run is coming in from second base. And Rengifo having a nice night. He drives in his second run in the last 2 innings. And the Angels are on top. It's 3-2.
Angels now threatening to break this one open after Zach Neto would draw a walk. Mickey Moniak came through with the biggest swing of the night.
The next pitch. Lines that one fair down the right side. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. A third is being recalled. Moniak clears the bases with a double. And the Angels bust this game open. It's now 6-2.
Angels would go on to win 6-2, being the final score. As far as the pitching goes, we saw Ken Freese get out of that inning. Again, 3 guys on base, all walks, did not allow a hit in the ball game tonight. But Ben Joyce ends up getting credit for the win in the game. His first, Jaime Barria, no decision after tossing 3 innings of 2-run baseball. Aaron Luke then pitched in the 7th inning. It was a clean frame with a strikeout as well. Sam Bachman got the final 6 outs, including 3 strikes to close out the ball game. Angels get the W 6-2 over the Chicago Cubs. And, well, good news for you, because whenever the Angels win, you win. Since the Angels won at home, head over to participating SoCal McDonald's tomorrow to redeem your free medium fries with a $1 minimum purchase. Just download and register on the McDonald's app. Now it is time for the star of the game, and that is presented by Sapporo Premium Beer. Follow the stars and please share Sapporo responsibly. In my opinion, no question about it. Mike Trout, player of the game tonight. Yes, for his home run, more so for his defense. That's what we talked about down on the field postgame. All right, Matt, big night for you. Not only a home run, but a defensive game for you as well. Took a home run away and a couple other running catches. I know you had a new outfielder, Rengifo, over there to your right side, but to go come out tonight, Brian must be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, I feel good. Nation's a great job. 4 games, get us ready, get us in a good spot to get them good jumps, and we've been working hard on it. So I knew B2 was over there, and he don't play over that much, so just trying to get a, make him comfortable and catch that again.
The play at the wall where in June today.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Make sure to... Jim.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me.
We're on the air.
I need to try it first.
Hey, Mickey, you so fine. Just keep hitting those home runs all the time.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
Yes! Callers never fail here on Angels Radio. Hey, Mickey, that was beautiful right there. Angels get the ball game, get the victory tonight in the ball game. 6-2 being the final. Mickey Moniak driving in 3 big runs. Mike Trout homers, took a homer away. Easter with a home run in the game tonight. Really good stuff by the Angels all the way around. Just an exciting Angels victory. 3 straight for the Halos. They'll try to make it 4 as they get to bust out the bridge for their second sweep of the season coming up tomorrow. Gotta get the job done first, though. The Angels are going to be counting on Green Peppers at 6:38 tomorrow night. Now time to take a look at our Harley out-of-town scoreboard. Brought to you by Riverside, Harley-Davidson, and Huntington Beach, Harley-Davidson, the #1 volume Harley dealer group in California. We'll actually get to that in just a moment. First, let's pause for just a second here for stations to identify themselves. They're on the Angels Baseball Radio Network.
AM 830, KLAA, Orange County, Los Angeles, and Inland Empire.
Okay, now it is officially time to take a look at our Huntington Beach Harley out-of-town scoreboard here on Angels Recap. But a good night for the Angels, 6-2 winners over the Cubs. My name is Trent Raj. Well, the Reds got a victory tonight, 8-6, while there was a lot of smoke across the eastern seaboard tonight. A lot of games ended up getting postponed. How about Ellie De La Cruz in that game, the Reds' 8-6 victory? He hit a home run 458 feet for the first home run of his career. Had quite the bat flip to boot as well. De La Cruz enjoyed that first one, and it went a long, long way. How about the A's getting back-to-back wins for the second time in a couple of weeks? They beat the Pirates 9-5 for Pittsburgh. Padres took care of the Mariners 10-3. Juan Soto, career-high 5-hit night, drove in 4 runs. Gary Sanchez hit a homer as well. The Marlins beat the Royals 6-1 as Luis Ariz gets 2 more hits. His batting average now up to .403, the best in the big leagues. Another night, another win for Tampa Bay. Rays 2-1 victors over the Twins. Randy Arozarena with a leadoff homer in the 9th inning ends up being the walk-off for Tampa in that one. Diamondbacks went to the nation's capital and beat the Nationals 6-2. Zach Davies gets his first win in more than a year, as the Diamondbacks are now in first place in the National League West, 37-25. The Blue Jays beat the Astros tonight, so Toronto gets a 3-2 W as the Astros lose. The Angels gain a little bit of ground on Houston. Red Sox lost as well. Guardians beat them 5-2 from Cleveland, while the Braves took care of the Mets 7-5. How about the Mets now 2 games under 500? Brewers 10-2 winners over the Orioles, while the Cardinals beat the Rangers 1-0. Yeah, shutout. Marcus Semien goes 0-4. That ends his 25-game hit streak. So the Angels gain a little bit of ground on Baltimore, on Boston, on Houston, on the Rangers. Good night in that sense. Giants also road winners in Colorado, 5-4 the final there. The Tigers-Phillies game got postponed due to some smoke from those Canadian wildfires. Same said for the White Sox and the Yankees tonight. As we take a look at the standings across Major League Baseball, where the Angels sit right now, currently 8 games back of the Rangers. 3rd place in the American League West. Angels are 3.5 games behind the Houston Astros. Meanwhile, in the American League wild card race, the Angels are 3.5 games out of a playoff spot. The season were to end today. It'd be Baltimore with the first wild card. Then the Astros and Yankees are tied, identical records, 36-26. The Blue Jays would be the first team out. They're a game and a half back, 2 games better than the Angels, who are a game and a half better than the Boston Red Sox. Now it's time to close up shop, as we always do, and that is with our nightcap.
For tonight's final thought, this is the nightcap.
Just want to give a hearty shout-out to all the Halo Hawks that came flagship station, AM 830. There were over 1,000 Angel fans hanging out. Roger Lodge was up there, the lead Halo honk. It's been really special for me. You know, this is 9 years now I've been with the Angels, and the last, this year and last year, the two that I've really spent in the afternoons with Roger Lodge, it never fails to amaze me. Just the support from Angel fans, the diehard, dedicated listeners. One thing I've noticed, and I've been blessed with the opportunity to do television and do some radio, there is nothing more personal than radio. And that's what I love about this show. I love talking with you every single night. And I say with you because we do this together. And I get to be a passenger in your car on your drive home. I like to hang out with you while you're doing chores around the house, maybe listen on the AM 830 app or however you're listening to this show right now. I love that we get to do that together. And that's one of the beautiful things about radio. It is so personal. It is so much fun. And then you get some nights like tonight where you kind of get to put a name to a face. And as much as there are a lot of listeners of this station that were wanting to put a face to my voice that you guys hear all the time, I like putting a face to your voice for all the people that call in and listen and participate. It's one thing to listen. It's another to actively participate. And that's one thing that is just so special about this Angels radio family that we truly have. Is participation is off the charts. Getting to spend that time together, I cherish so much. Really enjoyed hanging out in the upper deck tonight. It was a blast. Can't wait to do it again. And sincerely, thank you to the amazing listeners of this station that make what we do so worthwhile. There are so many people that work so hard behind the scenes to put together quality products for you. And it's truly an honor, a privilege, and a responsibility that I don't take lightly to be able to spend it with you and to deliver the very best we can, covering baseball, which is just a blast, especially this Angels team. All right, that's going to start doing for us here on Angels Recap tonight for Dan Jones, Howard Drescher, and Alejandro Valenzuela. My name is Trent Rush. Sincerely, thank you to every single one of you, all of our callers, all of those that came to Halo Hawk Night tonight, those that sent me some tweets on social media. Absolutely love it. Angels Bang action at 6:38 start time tomorrow. Reed Devers will be on the rubber for the Halos. On the other side for Chicago, we will be seeing Drew Smiley get the start for them again at 6:38 start time here at the Big A. The Angels 3 games over 500, gained a little ground in the AL West tonight. Long way to go, but hey, on a night where you can pick up some ground in the race is a good night, and it was for the Angels this evening. Enjoy what's left of your Wednesday, and thanks for listening. This has been Angels Recap on the Angels Baseball Radio Network.
Angels Baseball has been brought to you by Foundation Building Materials, Memorial Care, Coca-Cola, and Morocco Casino Resort and Spa. Join us again for the next game here on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. We now join ESPN Radio in progress.
Whoever does as well, they get the ball to their team. You're called a hell of a response.
Yeah, and he's responded quite well. We'll see what kind of response the Miami Heat can give to make sure it's a 2-2 series. Friday night, game 4 at 8:30 Eastern time on ESPN Radio and ABC. Q-Miles in for Ian Fitzsimmons. Join me, Freddie Coleman. I'm Freddie and Fitzsimmons. How much trouble the Miami Heat really is down 2-1 in the series? Plus, Dave Dollar wants to join Jimmy Buckets in Miami. This is ESPN Radio.
Your next success begins with University of Maryland Global Campus. For more than 75 years, UMGC has been giving working adults the affordable, accredited online education you need to reach the future you want. Because the path to success is different for everyone, we offer more than 125 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, along with personalized support and lifetime career services. Our 100% online and hybrid courses let you learn in the way that fits your schedule. No-cost digital materials replacing most textbooks, affordable tuition, and financial resources make UMGC accessible. You know what it feels like to succeed. We'll help you succeed again. Get started on your education this summer. Online undergraduate courses start June 14th. Programs available in many of today's most in-demand fields, including business, cyber, healthcare, and more. Gain the career-relevant skills you need to reach your goals. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate by Chef.
Coming up Thursday, my Nuggets. That's right, I said it. My Nuggets take Game 3 and are 2 games away from their first NBA championship. So how you feeling now, Miami? Keyshawn, J. Will and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
What's interesting is some of the legacy conversation with Spoelstra will be around the teams he took. He led a 1 seed, a 2 seed, a 5 seed, and an 8 seed to the finals. Think about that.
You have to understand as a coach, how can you drive the ship and drive the force to be able to get the best out of all these players that you have on a roster, 1 through 15 now, not just the top 5 or the top 7 or the top 8, but 1 through 15, but also trickle down your teachings and things that you want to implement to your assistant coaches so they can deliver your message as well when you are doing other things.
And all of this also speaks to Spo's ability to learn, because Eric Spoelstra certainly has had the advantage of being in the room with Pat Riley. It's been well documented now when you take his life as a coach, front office executive, and a player. He's been in 25% of all NBA finals. Like, the Heat have 2 head coaches.
Fitz and Harry. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Thursday on Canty and Carlin, the Nuggets get it done on the road and take home court advantage back. And we'll tell you why Game 4 isn't necessarily a must-win for Miami. That's Thursday, Canty and Carlin.
This last show will be previously on the Paul Sandwell Show.
AC is up next in Bangladesh. Did I understand you correctly that you were they sent you packing and now you're in Bangladesh? They sent me packing with some 5 bombs. I love it. Canada kicked this guy out. 3 cheers for Canada.
Paul Feinbaum Show. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC network.
The name of this team is officially Mighty Ducks.
Sirius XM Channel 80.
But maybe next year in the form of an all-star guard that may want out of his place. We'll get that in a couple of minutes. But Renee in New York is on the phone at 888-729-3776. He's got something to say. Renee, what you got? Messi playing second to the Heat. He's going to do his the fact that he's going to Miami. Messi is in Miami. Good Lord. Let me guess, Renee, you want a trampoline off of that, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be me if I didn't.
True.
The only thing that I have here is, how dare you just ignore the fact that Messi will be in New York or New Jersey, however you want to call it, at Red Bull Arena on August 26th. So, since I have tickets to that game already, I'm openly inviting you to the game.
Ooh. Now, is that on a Saturday or Sunday? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it's a Saturday. A Saturday game.
Yeah, I might have to take you up on that, partner. I might have to do that.
I think so.
Even though I'm a New York City Football Club fan, you know, I might have to ignore that for one night. I might have to do that.
I think you'll be perfectly fine with going into the confines of New Jersey, Harrison, New Jersey, and go watch a game at a soccer-specific stadium. You know, nothing crazy.
Okay, and you know what? You got a date. How's that sound? It'll be me and you.
I love it. I love to think about it. I love to see it.
Yeah, and plus I can root against New Jersey and root for Messi. Everything will be fine.
You know, we'll do that. It's a date thing.
All right. Thanks, Renee. Messi playing second to the Heat. And he's going to do his thing for the break. He's going to Miami. Messi is in Miami.
Now, I'll say this, Freddie.
Okay.
What just happened live on ESPN Radio, on Freddie and Fitzsimmons, what just happened here is the equivalent of a stadium proposal.
Oh, no, it's not that. Come on.
It just was a stadium proposal.
No,
You're live on the air. You can't say no.
Well, me and Renee are friends.
I understand.
Yeah, it's not like he's some random caller.
Well, I mean,
he's not some hooligan, some thug that
someone who proposes is not a random stranger either. I mean, people that propose in stadiums, they know each other. They've been together for a long time. They just there's more pressure to say yes when there's everybody staring at you.
I mean, I warned you guys what it was about, so it wasn't totally blind.
Exactly. Q, you're not going to turn into a kiss cam moment here. You're not going to do that.
It's already become a kiss cam moment. I sat back in the back row with a cold beverage in my hand, and I just watched the whole thing. You guys are the ones that decided to have the moment.
No, it sounds like Q's jealous he didn't get the invite.
That's right.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly
I think
what I'm
it's
thinking.
silly. I think it's funny, but I think it's silly. So I'm okay with that.
Renee had an extra ticket. He knows that how much I love Leo Messi. Come on, you're not making this. You're not doing that. Yeah, I'm not going to allow you to do that. You're not going to do to me.
Stadium proposals happen all the time.
You're not going to do to me the Denver Nuggets did the Miami Heat tonight. That's make them feel less than they are by winning Game 3, 109-94. I ask you though, if they are in trouble, meaning the Heat, how much trouble are they in?
I mean, if they're in trouble, I would say it's a little bit because actually it'd be a little bit more than a little bit if they are in trouble. I'm not 100% sure they're in trouble, but with the size of Denver and when they're clicking on all cylinders, there's obviously not a better team, out there, right? I mean, there's a reason why Denver was number one all year long. I mean, that's who they were. And me and you both talked about, well, now that they got the target on their back and they're in the playoffs, how are they going to perform? Well, they did just fine, right? They knocked off Phoenix, knocked off LA, knocked off Miami in game 1, and then all of a sudden game 2 happened, and so a lot of questions came up. I still think that Miami has a pulse. I still think that Miami is going to go make adjustments. They're going to, that they're going to give you everything that they got. They're going to make it close, if not win game 4. So I don't think that they're quite in trouble, but brother, if they let the Joker go off for a triple-double, it's game, set, match, because they don't lose when he gets a triple-double.
Yeah, and that happens, that game 4 being favored with Denver, which means this series could be over by next Monday in 5 if Miami can't figure it out and find a way to win game 4. Q Myers and Fitzsimmons on Freddie Coleman on Freddie and Fitzsimmons on ESPN Radio, but help could be on the way. Maybe not in this series, but maybe next year. Damian Lillard, as of right now, still a member of the Portland Trail Blazers. He put a couple of teams on his wish list. One involving a team in the NBA Finals.
Everybody keeps saying Damian Lillard is going to be traded to the Knicks. Damian Lillard's going to be traded to the Heat. Damian Lillard should be traded to the Celtics. Damian Lillard's going to be traded to the Nets. If one of those trades went through, out of those teams, which one would you be like, that's not too bad?
Miami, obviously. Miami is the obvious one. And Bam is my dog.
See, that's what he said on Brian Custer's Last Stand podcast. I know it was solicited, but man, it didn't take him long to have that kind of answer. And if you're Portland Trail Blazers, what are you going to do about that?
Exactly right. I mean, he responded before the question was fully out of Brian's mouth, right? I mean, he had already said Miami. Miami, obviously, that's a no-brainer. So clearly, I mean, he's got his eyes on Miami, as he should. He's been very loyal to Portland. Portland has been fun to watch, but we all know what Portland is, right? And even when his running buddy was still there, you knew that they had a good team, but they weren't going to get it done. But they're fun to watch, so he could go somewhere now and maybe possibly have an opportunity to win a championship.
I give Damian Lillard, a lot of credit for wanting to try to make it in Portland, where he was not just going to ring chase and go here, go there, go everywhere. But it comes to a certain point, if that's not going to happen, they got to move on, and you got to move on. So if that's going to be the case, that's going to happen, that's going to be a very interesting way to make that trade work. If you're Miami, the Brooklyn Nets, now Damian Lillard's put it out there that, if I have my choice, those two teams would be my choices. Q Myers in for Ian Fitzsimmons, joining me, Freddie Coleman on Freddie and Fitzsimmons, presented by Progressive Insurance. It's time to give love to those who are great in the world of sports tonight.
That is your night, bro.
Find who gets that greatness next on ESPN Radio.
Yeah, it's your night, bro.
Messi playing second to the heat of dawn. He's going to do his thing for the break of dawn. He's going to Miami. I bet he is in Miami.
More from Freddie and Fitzsimmons next.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems. And if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for you. Your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
Coming up Thursday, my Nuggets, that's right, I said it, my Nuggets take Game 3 and are 2 games away from their first NBA championship. So how are you feeling now, Miami? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
June in Omaha. It's a celebration of college baseball.
Finally ready to go. The College World Series in Omaha.
From the plays that leave you in awe.
Are you kidding me?
To the moments that define a season.
To the wall and gone!
Watch all the tradition and high-stakes action from Omaha. The Men's College World Series, presented by Capital One, begins Friday, June 16th on ESPN and ESPN+.
Thursday on Fifth and Harry, the series shifted to Miami, but Denver's now just 2 wins from the mountaintop.
Plus, I'll tell you the one quarterback who could follow up a career year with an MVP.
Fifth and Harry, Thursday, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, and watch on the ESPN app.
People in the conference in the mouth, Pac-12, Big Ten, Midwest. They're the conference on ACC.
All find off. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC Network.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 289, Saturday. Amanda Nunes,
The greatest of all time.
defends her bantamweight title against the Rey de Alzada. And Charles Oliveira takes out Benil Dariush in a pivotal lightweight fight. UFC 289, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Find on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Greedy. The fact that one of the central pieces feels so much bitterness toward it, it is tragic to me. Makes me feel terribly sad for him.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
It's a beautiful time for basketball, with 2 teams on the cusp of NBA history.
Butler gets inside and taps it all. Another Jimmy Butler masterpiece. There's the unbelievable passing ability of Nikola Jokic.
NBA Finals, presented by YouTube TV. Nuggets Heat, Game 4, tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern on ABC. The NBA Finals continue on ESPN Radio.
Christian Brown, the rookie, throws it down with the right hand.
The Nuggets respond, winning Game 3 in Miami. Now the Heat face a critical Game 4. Will they bounce back? Or will the Nuggets take the commanding 3-1 lead back to Denver? The Finals. Game 4, the Nuggets and Heat. Presented by Indeed. Coverage begins Friday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
Mark Robbins, when Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray are on, the Denver Nuggets are tough to beat, and that duo was on in Game 3. Each had a 30-point triple-double, the pair combining. Get this, 66 points, 31 rebounds, and 20 assists as Denver beat Miami in Game 3, 109-104. And Jokic believes there's no better time than right now to get the best from both guys.
I mean, this is the right time. If you're going to play your best basketball, I think this is the right time to play your best basketball. But I think, like you said, the team is really important. Yes, a couple of guys maybe didn't make shots, or is this the best basketball that we play? I don't know. As long as we're winning games, I think.
That is Nikola Jokic, Game 4 of the NBA Finals, set for Friday. 7:30 p.m. Eastern is when the coverage begins here on ESPN Radio. Game 1 of the College World Series, the Women's College World Series, goes to Oklahoma. 5-0 over Florida State as Jordy Ball throws a 2-hit shutout for the Sooners.
Florida State's a really good hitting team, so you can't sit in one place too long, so it's important to keep mixing it up with them, like up and down, off speed, everything. So they made me have to give them a lot of different looks.
That's Oklahoma's Jordy Ball. OU now with a 52-game winning streak, and the Sooners go for 53 and a third straight national title. Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN+.
Coming up Thursday, can Jalen Hurts continue to dominate the NFL? How about Mac Jones? What about Trevor Lawrence? My answer just might surprise you. Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPN2. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get lucky.
It's Q-Rise in for Ian Fitzsimmons. Joining me, Freddie Coleman on Freddie and Fitzsimmons. Thanks for being a part of it on ESPN Radio, as well as the ESPN app. Sirius XM Channel 80, tune in, and always tell your smart speaker to play ESPN Radio. Each and every night when somebody does something great in the world of sports, we pay attention because we know they want that love, they need that love, and they're going to get that love like this.
Fans have spent the night grinding their team.
Don't grind the teeth,
in anticipation of their team getting a victory. No mercy. We highlight the stars that helped them get in tonight's edition of
That is your night, bro.
That
is your night, bro.
Absolutely.
Yes, your night, bro.
Word of advice to the New York Mets the next time they play the Atlanta Braves. Don't get a lead early. It never ends well.
1-1 to Harris. High fly ball to deep center field. Back to the wall. Cold-blooded. Michael Harris. A home run to straightaway center. He just aimed right for their heart. And a 2-run homer to straightaway center. And the Braves have a 7-5 lead.
680, the fan with a call to the play-by-play announcer goes Chappelle's show like Rick James, cold-blooded, with the Braves beating the Mets 7-5. Second straight night, the Mets had a 4-1 lead. Second straight night, they could not hold it. They now lost 5 in a row for the first time since 2021. They're now 2 games into 500, 7.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves in the NL East. By the way, the Braves, winners of 4 in a row, they have a 3-game lead over Miami for one of the best records in the National League.
I love the fact that I don't have a dog in the fight when it comes to those teams, because I enjoy watching those teams just battle it out, right? It doesn't matter, like you said, whoever gets the lead early, doesn't matter. The other team's going to come back. They're going to battle. That's always a lot of fun. These are 2 really good teams with high expectations, and for the second night in a row, the Braves got the best of the Mets.
That is your night, bro.
I'm sure Mike Trout's probably sick and tired of Shohei Ohtani hitting all those home runs. He's like, I'm no scrub now.
Here's the next delivery, and Trout swings it down, lifts it high in the air, hits it pretty well out into right center on the warning track, and that ball is out of here. He hit it out, it just kept tearing. Stockman ran out of the room, and Mike Trout has just slugged his 14th home run of the season, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead.
Angels Radio, AM 830 with the call. Mike Trout's home run, part of a 6-2 win over the Chicago Cubs. And don't look now. Everybody's talking about Texas. They're 40-21. Can't forget about the Houston Nationals, 36-26. But now the Angels, winners of 3 in a row, Q. They're 3 games over 500 at 33-30.
Man, and if you want to talk about a surprise, that is. And I know that doesn't mean that they have the best record in baseball. They're not that team. But just to be where they're at right now, it's kind of like when the Baltimore Orioles started to make headways and they started to get a positive record, and you start to see them get around 500. Then they crept over 500. You're like, wow, they're really doing some things. Baltimore's a really good team. The Angels are trying to be one. Mike Trout, phenomenal player.
Yes, your night, bro.
Word of advice to give you on how to be the Tampa Bay Rays. Pray for rain.
Grand throws, swinging a high drive in the air to right, moving back Kepler to the track, to the wall, gone! Randy Arozarena walks it off, and the Rays defeat the Twins 2-1.
620 WDAE with a call. People starting to watch the Tampa Bay Rays now, Q. I know they had 10,000, but for them, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're the best team in baseball. They're 45-19. Their fifth win in a row. They beat the Minnesota Twins 2-1. The Rose Arena has 12 home runs and 43 RBIs. If this team played in New York or Chicago or L.A., there'd be 30 for 30s about them. They play in Tampa Bay, and people just like, meh, and that's that.
If they played in New York or anywhere else in those big markets, they'd have some different players on their team. And who knows what they would be looking like, right? Because they'd be a big market team. They're a small market team that is getting it done. Man, I'm telling you, I can really appreciate the way that they go about their business. And I can appreciate their ownership and their front office for being able to put some really good players out on the field to get it done. It can be done. I'll keep pounding that message. It can be done.
Oh, yeah, do not, bro.
The Cincinnati Reds believed it could be done for the second straight night against the Dodgers. The Dodgers had an early lead, but then Cincinnati said that's why they played 9 innings.
Here's the 2-2. Benson swings. He drives it. Deep right field. Way out of here. And the Reds walk it off. Will Benson's first major league home run is a walk-off homer.
And I hope they found that ball. You heard they're calling 700 WLW. Third player in Reds history hit a walk-off home run for his first career home run. The Reds overcome the Dodgers after being down early. They win at 8-6. All of a sudden, the Hollywood Swingers, they're slumping. They lost 4 in a row. If you're Cincinnati, they don't have a good record, but you'll take any win, make it 3 in a row for the Redlegs in Cincinnati.
And if you're the Dodgers, you're really concerned because you continue to give up so many runs, right?
Yes.
And you're giving up come-from-behind victories. So I know it's only June, so you don't have to worry about, being able to have the pitching to get it done in the postseason. But that's what matters at the end of the day, and that's who the Dodgers believe they are each and every year as a postseason team that's going to make a real deep run. To get that done, you've got to have pitching. You got to be able to stop the bleeding when it's happening. For the second day in a row, the Reds have found a way to walk it off against the Dodgers.
Meanwhile, the Arizona Diamondbacks, are you starting to believe? Maybe not us, but in Arizona, are you starting to believe?
And the first pitch swing, line drive, left field. That's a base hit. That ball's going to roll all the way to the wall. Carroll rounding third. He is on his way home, and he is going to score easily as Longoria picks up his second RBI double of the game. And the lead is now 4-2.
Arizona Sports 98.7 with the call. Diamondbacks win to 6-2 over the Nationals. They are in first place in the NL West. They now have a 2-game lead over the Dodgers. Still plenty of baseball left. But a great story in this game. Zach Davies earning his first victory in more than a year. Arizona has now won 8 out of their last 10.
They're believing. That's what I don't know if anyone else is believing what's going on with the Diamondbacks, but they're believing, and that's all that really matters, right? They don't have much to believe in Arizona when it comes to the Cardinals. We saw the Sun season get cut up a little shorter than they expected it to. CP3's on his way out of there. They got to find something to believe in. The Diamondbacks, they trust.
So I guess there is a God when it comes to pitching against the Texas Rangers. They don't score 10 runs every night.
There's a swing and a drive to right field. That's hit back. It's a gunner. A home run for Alec Burleson. The Cardinals are on the board with 2 outs in the 8th.
Cardinals radio network with a call. By the way, that game was not in St. Louis. That game was in Texas. All those Cardinals fans, their team's not any good. That don't mean they don't travel. They win at 1-0. That snapped a 5-game losing streak. They're now 4-11 all-time versus the Texas Rangers. Worst win percentage versus any current franchise. But if you're Texas, you're thinking, we're bound to lose sooner or later. They still have 4.5-game lead in the American League West.
It's still a really good team, and that new ballpark that they have is really a place to go see some games, right? And so a lot of fans enjoy going there, and when you have a nice new ballpark, fans are going to travel, and not to mention Cardinal fans for sure are going to travel. And I know Ranger fans don't like to see Cardinal fans in the building. They got too much bad history with them. So the Cardinals topping the Rangers, even though it's only 1 game, it stings a little bit more if you're a Ranger fan.
And of course, you had not forgotten about the biggest winners of the night.
16-point lead for Denver. Adebayo halfway down the lane, missed the jumper. Jokic, 20 rebounds in Game 3. Jokic with it up high for Denver. We're just under 6 minutes to go in Game 3. Nikola looking inside, couldn't find Gordon. Gives it up. Murray's jumper's good. He was fading to the right, and he knocked it down.
Wow. Enormous shot by Jamal Murray.
Goes to Nikola Jovic, out to Yurtseven. The big man shoots a 3, missed it, and there's the triple-double for Jamal. Jamal Murray got the rebound with 5 seconds to go. First time in NBA history, 2 players, same team with a triple-double, and the Nuggets get home court advantage right back. They beat the Heat 109-94 to go up 2-1 in the final.
Mark Kessler and PJ Carlson with the call on ESPN Radio. They out-rebounded Miami 58-33. You heard Kessler say that history been made in this game. Jamal Murray 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Nikola Jokic 32 rebounds, 32 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists. First teamers to ever make triple-double in the same NBA playoff game. By the Nikola Jokic, the first man to have a Finals NBA record of 30 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists.
All I can hear
さあ帰ろうかな。
帰りましょう。Looking at Coach Malone and saying, "How's that for effort? How's that for effort?"
If I replied, look back to him and said, "Yeah, that's what I was talking about."
Exactly right. Exactly right. But that's the kind of effort that has to be had each and every night, and it starts defensively. It starts on the glass, and everything else builds off of that. And so for both of those guys to go out and have performances like that, that's just, I mean, that's championship basketball to the finest right there.
Yes, you're nice, bro.
We do that each and every night here on Freddie and Fitzsimmons. My man Q Mars in for Ian Fitzsimmons. I'm Freddie Coleman. Always hit us on Twitter. My handle is Coleman ESPN. Q's handle at your boy Q.
11時ぐらいまで 11時ぐらいまでちょっと粘ろうかなと思ったんだけどね。まあいいや、もう帰ろう。
This is ESPN Radio.
One of the fiercest rivalries in all of sports begins another chapter. The Boston Red Sox head to the Bronx to go head-to-head with the New York Yankees. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. You can also listen and watch on the ESPN app. The NBA Finals continue on ESPN Radio. Christian Brown, the rookie, throws it down with the right hand. The Nuggets respond, winning Game 3 in Miami. Now the Heat face a critical Game 4. Will they bounce back? Or will the Nuggets take the commanding 3-1 lead back to Denver? The Finals. Game 4, the Nuggets and Heat. Presented by Indeed. Coverage begins Friday at 7 ESPN Radio. ABC. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on SiriusXM Channel 80. Ever wish that you could get closer to the world of sports? Well, with the ESPN app, you're one app and one tap away from the action. You can get live sports and
帰りましょうか。あら、後ろいた。
follow your favorite competition marches off the tee. You even get 24/7 coverage of the biggest NFL plays. So what are you waiting? Oh, sorry, I turned right. So what are you waiting for? Download the ESPN app and get closer than ever. ESPN College Game Day, the podcast.
Culture believes the Western tradition has held it back, and the bowl system needs it. Now look, I'm a bowl guy. I watch bowl. I'm just like pro smart business because athletics hasn't pushing forward. When these dudes make the playoffs, they don't care that there's some guy in a yellow jacket screaming.
Cut it, shoot. Cut it, shoot.
College Game Day podcast with Reese Davis and Pete Allen. Wherever you listen to podcasts. You can't miss a moment. We're free.
Have I sort of overdone it on the Aaron Rodgers stuff?
Remember when Mike Tannenbaum suggested that the Jets take a quarterback and you almost smacked him in the face?
I mean, I think my reaction to that was startlingly restrained. It's a miracle, I think, that I did not lay hands on that. It's the most insane thing I've ever heard a person say in my entire life. But he and I are no longer speaking.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
The WNBA is off to a record-setting start. This season about super team expectations. New York Epic Homecoming.
Coming up Thursday, my Nuggets, that's right, I said it, my Nuggets take Game 3 and are 2 games away from their first NBA championship. So how are you feeling now, Miami? Keystone on J. Willow next, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU. Thursday on Canty and Carlin, the Nuggets get it done on the road and take home court advantage back. And we'll tell you why Game 4 isn't necessarily a must-win for Miami. That's Thursday, Canty and Carlin.
そうですね、アナハイム、今、ディズニーランドのところを、ディズニーランドの外いたんですけどね、誰かいないかなと思って、帰りました、もう、なんか、待ってる車の方が多くて、乗る人いないですね、帰りますよ。そうですね。そんなに遠くないですね。もうここからだとね。何分だろう。25分ぐらいかな。30分弱ですね。ちょっとあれなんですよね。さっき夕方じゃなくて晩ご飯食べに行ってタイミングがねずれちゃったんですよね。アナハイムのエンジェルスタジアムの試合が済む頃に行きたかったんですけど、晩ご飯食べてたら試合がもうその最中に終わっちゃってずれちゃったんですよね。エンジェルスタジアムの方が可能性があったんですけどね。まあしょうがないですよね。ちょっとご飯食べに行ったらもう閉店だって言われて別のところに移動してご飯食べてなんてしてたらね、タイミングを逃しちゃったって感じですけどね。それでディズニーランドに寄り道したらどうかなと思ってて。何をしてるって、しおんくんのライブ見てた。11時ぐらいまでいようかなと思って。そう8時半に行ったんですよ。8時半に行ったらもう閉めたって言われて、何それっすよね、本当に頭きちっちゃねえ、もう土砂降りの中ね。頑張ってますもんね、本当偉い。 うちゃんどこ行った？もうりょうちゃんいないね。りょうちゃんいないね。いるか。さ、おお、九州に行くって言ってても、じゃあ、船乗って九州行ったんですね、じゃあね。あ、そっか、ラストランとかって書いてあったな、そういえばね。そっかそっか。ゆうまくんもいないんですよね、もうね。黒柳さんもいなくなったしね。そろそろ俺の出番かな。18日、あ、そうなんですか。学校に顔出さなきゃいけないと思う、そういう感じが。18日と来週、再来週か。お、はいはいはいはい。マッサージのね。カンサスからね、すごいですよね。 ーボールが300ミリオンですから。ゆうさんお疲れさんです。ちょっと段ボール箱激突お願いします。カートであれでもカートってセンサーついてないんですよね、何もね、多分。リモコンのカートだとついてんのかな。なるほどね。なんか結構みんなビュンビュン飛ばしてるね。 疲れです。こっちもそろそろ着きますね。どうもどうもありがとうございます。PJ just talking amongst ourselves said the number might be 110 to beat them, and that would have beat them tonight. So just the ability of Denver to rectify all the breakdowns they had, the wide open shots. Now they gave up some wide open ones tonight. さあ、今日とってこの辺りです。今日も一日終わりましたね。朝から出てきた割にはという感じなんですよね。なんか最近もうちょっとなんとかもう一踏ん張りね、もう一伸びしてほしいところなんですけどね。
He started, every one of the games here over the course of the year, 62 games, 62 starts. He's not going to go away from that. Now, were they down? Had they lost tonight? And down 2-1? Maybe. But I think playing from the front, no, I don't think they make a change.
And one of those guys who stepped up was Christian Brown, the rookie from Kansas, 7 of 8 shooting. 15 points, and oh yeah, your stars, Jokic and Murray, teamed up for 66 points, 31 rebounds, and 20 assists, dueling triple-doubles as the Denver Nuggets go up 2 games to 1 with the road win in Miami, 109-94. Dorisburg, PJ Carlissimo, I'm Mark Kestisher, right here on your home for the NBA, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. Now let's go back to our pal, Jay Reynolds, in the studio.
All right, Mark, Nuggets take a 2-1 series lead. They've won 5 of the previous 6 best-of-7 series that they've led 2 games to 1. Jokic, Murray, first pair of teammates with 30-point triple-doubles in the same game.